So, good morning. Thank you for joining me today for yoga practice. And if you're watching on record, again, thank you for joining. May not be the morning, whatever time of your day it is, just coming in a way to celebrate the shortest day. It's December the 21st. So I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment. Our practice today is going to be predominantly yin. There'll be a little bit of movement. Feedback said that it's a particular move that we liked, and I liked it as well. So we'll be bringing in the cat, cow, child's pose movement at some point today as well. The rest of the pose is going to be held for a certain period of time, as in yin. Do use your blocks and your props. I've discovered recently just how lovely it is to have my head resting on a block. It takes all the pressure out of my head, my neck. So don't be frightened about using the props, allowing your body to really sink down, to stretch. You will still feel sensations. It's your choice, obviously. Just try not today to push too hard. It's not about pushing, it's about simply being and seeing what happens to your body. You still have your zones to work in, and if you want to stay in green zone today, that's fine. It's more a restorative practice. Orange zone, again, just allowing the sensations into your body, and no red zones at all. Not good. Means your body is telling you that you're pushing too far. So those are really the rules of yin. The aim today is to stretch and to open into the hips. So we'll be doing a number of hip suggestions. The first two poses, when we come into them, there are seated and lying variations. And I will talk you through both of those, particularly if you have high or low blood pressure and you just want to take that time. So you're probably already there, but if you're not, come into a comfortable seated position and closing your eyes. Just being aware of the contact points of your body on the mat. You may be sitting on a cushion, a meditation cushion, or a block. I thoroughly recommend that. It helps to keep the pelvis in a slight forward tilt, which means your back can be more comfortable. There's less strain through your body. Your posture is balanced. You're still sitting tall. There's some activity in your body to keep your body upright. Keep your chin slightly tucked and shoulders back and down. Hands can be in your lap, they can be on your thighs, wherever is comfortable. And before we even come on to our breath, let's just bring our minds to the fact that today is the winter solstice. It means different things to different people. If you look at the word solstice with its Latin roots, it simply means sun standing still. Astrologically, it's the shortest day. It's the shortest day. It marks the start of the return to light. Around this time of the year, there are many beliefs and celebrations. You will have your own, possibly. I'm just thinking about the connection of the stillness at the end of one season and then the start of the next cycle. So possibly this is a time to reflect and assimilate all our thoughts and wisdoms and feelings that we've had within our body, and then to move forward. We use the phrases sometimes moving from the darkness to the light, moving from death to growth. If you think about the trees out there at the moment, just losing their last leaves, there will be this period of stillness. They're still growing, they're pushing down their roots, ready for the start of the new season. So again, depending on your belief system, potentially today is the day to set your intentions for moving forward. Some belief systems, that would be January the 1st. I'm just throwing it out there that maybe today would be another good day for setting intentions. Shortest day, preparing to move forwards. Just take a moment with that idea. Just allow it to sink down into your body, into your mind. And then bring your awareness to your breath. Simply start by noticing the cool air coming in through your nose. And the air feels warmer as it leaves your body again through your nose. Unless you have any congestion, in which case, breathe through your mouth. Your lips just gently parted. As you breathe in and out now, start to notice the small pause at the top of the in-breath when there's no breath going in or out, and the small pause at the bottom of the out-breath when there's no air going in or out. Just sit with that for a moment, noticing it. And all we're going to do is very simply start to stretch the pause. As you breathe in, be really aware of the time when there's no breath moving in either direction. By the time you've realised that, you need to take the out breath, and at the bottom of the out breath again, see if you can just stretch the pause until you need to breathe in again. And eventually you may come to a square shape in your mind's eye as you breathe around the square. Continue this breathing for around about another 4, 5 or 6 rounds. Don't need to necessarily count or bring it to a close. Just notice if you're still holding any tension in your shoulders. Square breathing is designed to really calm the body and calm the mind. It's particularly useful at this time of year. Allowing your awareness and your breath just to move away from the breath Now your body is settled. See if there's any intention that comes to you, any reason for being on your mat, anything you'd like to say to yourself, and set that intention with its roots in the practice today. If nothing comes, don't force it. Just try and sit with your mind, your thoughts, your feelings. If something does come, see if you can put that phrase into the present. So, I am. Just say that to yourself 3 times. And then take a deep breath in. Just let the air escape through your mouth. Again, deep breath in. And breathing out. Still with your eyes closed, or just with eyes slightly open if it makes you feel a little bit giddy. Take a breath in, just bring your chin up in front of you. And as you breathe out, drop your chin back down towards your chest. And again, breathing in, bring your chin up. If your eyes are open, you're looking towards the wall and the ceiling, and then all the way back down again. And again, breathing in, look up. And breathing out, chin to chest. Keep your chin on your chest. Take a breath in and bring your chin across to your right shoulder. And then breathing out, drop your chin back down towards your chest and bring the chin to your left shoulder. So just bringing some gentle neck moves, nothing more than that. Let's keep going from side to side. One more to each side. And then bring your head all the way back to center. Lift your head, bring your palms of your hands together, rub them quite vigorously, create some warmth. Be aware of the warmth in your hands, even if they're cold hands, maybe get some warmth there. And then cover your eyes with your hands, being aware of the darkness, the warmth. Flutter your eyelids open if you choose to, and then bring your hands away from your face. So I've been joined by a cat, or 2 cats. I'm now going to have to move. The first pose we're going to come into is dangling, so we are going to get ourselves up to standing, but there's an option to stay down in caterpillar instead if high or low blood pressure. So just start off by bringing your legs out in front of you and just bouncing the knees up and down, just bending. It's been stuck in that position for some time. So if you do have high or low blood pressure, I'm going to suggest that you stay on your block, legs out in front. You can bring a bolster or a block in front of you and simply lean forward. The idea is to stretch through your back. If your blood pressure is okay, we're going to come onto the balls of our feet, stretch our legs, and then just allow our bodies to come down into a dangling position. You can keep the knees soft. You can have your hands on your thighs, supporting yourself. You can even support your head. The aim over the next 3 minutes is going to be to stretch the back. Okay, so find either caterpillar or find your dangling position. In either position, you may have a sensation of the stretching in the back of the hamstrings. In both positions, make sure your head is really well supported. If you're dangling, you can always stack blocks in front of you, or if it's comfortable, let your head hang. And observe how your body feels in either position. As I say, we're going to be here for 3 minutes. So it's a relatively active yin pose because you're having to support yourself if you're standing. It's yin if you're sitting down. And all I'm asking is for you to observe
what happens to your body. After we get to about 2 minutes, see if there's a softening. So keep your breath steady and even, eventually coming to a slightly longer exhalation. And try and release any tension that you're holding. If you're standing, just make sure you're not putting too much weight through your heels. Your body weight should be balanced between your heels or your toes, or favouring your toes slightly. Both poses, so you can probably start to feel about lengthening your back, lengthening the back of your legs, lengthening the whole back of your body chain. And the fascia in this part of your body stretches from the soles of your feet, up the back of your calves, your hamstrings, your glutes, whole length of your back to your neck. If you're in the dangling position, just notice if you can start to straighten your legs a little bit, if they're not already straight. Not locking your knees out. We're here for around about another 30 seconds. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, if you're seated, push yourself upright. If you are in dangling, slowly walk your hands up your legs and come up to a standing position. If you're seated, lying down on the mats, I'm just going to be here for the next minute. If you're standing, just standing tall, and observe the sensations in your body. The observation phase in yin is as important as the actual pose itself. Noticing sensations. It's also what we know is known as the rebound phase. And from here, again, 2 options for your next pose. If you're lying on your back and you don't like squat, you can take happy baby. I'll show you the squat in just a moment. So from happy baby, lying flat, simply you're going to bring both feet in towards you, head down, holding onto your ankles or the inside of your feet to open your hips. If you're okay in the squat, maybe bringing a block underneath the back of your heels. So lower yourself down so your heels are on the outside edge of the block, knees are wide, back is straight but angled. So not absolutely upright, but you're not hunched forward into a curve. So using a block or 2 if you need them. If you're in happy baby, just relaxing back, opening into your hips with the weight of your legs and gravity. If you're in squat, just maybe using your elbows on the inside of your knees to open your hips. You don't have to have your hands in prayer in front. You can hold your wrists or your forearms and just settle here into your squat pose.
So be aware of the sensations in your hips. In happy baby, you have gravity, as I say, doing the work. In squats, just feel your tailbone dropping. At any point you want to come off the block, if that feels appropriate, then do so. As always with yin, just make the changes as and when you feel it's appropriate. If you want to stay with your heels on the block, good. You're listening to what your body needs. So we're allowing our spine to lengthen. Tailbone is long. Hips might complain about this. It's the first time we've applied any pressure to open our hips. So the sensations in your hips may be fairly strong today. Remember your breath. As you breathe out, try and lengthen your breath now. Telling the body it can rest. There's no need for fight, fright, or flight. And we're here for another 1.5 minutes. Winter solstice is again a time in yin yoga for hip opening. It opens the whole body. It's a releasing pose, releasing the physicality of tightness and also of that of emotions. Just another 30 seconds. See if there's been any changes in the sensations in your hips. Mine have suddenly stopped pulling quite so much. But it's taken that nearly full 3 minutes for that to happen. And I'm observing simply how frustrated I would be, or I was, in the first minute when things weren't opening. So that's sitting with this. Just felt a lovely, sort of warm, stretchy feeling. Just as it's time to finish. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, if you're in the squat position, then just coming into 4-point kneeling. If you've been in happy baby, release your legs and bring your knees in towards your chest. So either holding 4-point kneeling or knees in towards your chest. If your knees are in towards your chest, roll onto one side and now come into your 4-point kneeling position. We're just going to come into our little bit of movement now, just to work off through our backs, which we've taken into flexion. We're going to do a little bit of extension. And also it's a chance to bring the hips back to where they need to be. So we're coming into our cat and our cow and our child's pose. Nice little flow. We're going to take about 3 minutes or so to do this. So with your hands glued to the mat, just try and imagine pulling your wrists back in towards your knees. And as you do that, lengthen your tummy, your back arches, and look forward. It doesn't have to be a big lift up, but just bring your eyes beyond the front of your mat. So just feel the stretch in the front of your tummy in cow. And then invert that. So you take it into your cat pose, push down through your hands, arch through your back, drop your head, and your gaze comes back towards your thighs. From here, just lower your buttocks down towards your heels. Hands are stretched out in front of you, feeling the stretch through your shoulders into your armpits. And then prepare to move back into cow. So with your arms on the floor,
Lower your elbows right down so you're really deep into your child's pose. And then literally pull your body forward. Keep your forearms on the mat as you snake forward. And then when your face is level with your hands, lift your elbows and push back up into cow. Or any variation like that. I have to adjust and come onto my fist. Then take it into cat. And then lower back down into child's pose. Snaking forward into cow. Lifting up into cat. And back into child's pose. So find your own rhythm. Spend longer in the areas where you feel your body needs it. But think about your whole body as a wave undulating as it lands on the beach. You can even try taking it into reverse if you want to. It can be quite an interesting experience. From that, if you're doing that from child's pose, coming up into cat, and then releasing into cow, and bottom back in cow. It brings a different sensation to your lumbar spine. About another 30 seconds of free movement. One more cycle. And when you finish, just hold child's pose. You can take your knees wide. If your bottom doesn't like coming back down towards your heels, pull yourself forward and just hold into melting heart or puppy pose. An opportunity to really stretch into your shoulders and also continue the hip opening. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just walk your hands in towards you. And we're going to take it into another hip opening pose. It's saddle, not everyone's favorite. So the aim of saddle is to sit flat on the mat with your leg out in front. The other leg is bent at the knee and the foot comes back alongside your buttock. Really deep stretch through the front of the thigh. Now, if you can get there, that's fine. If you need a block to sit on, then place the block underneath your buttocks. Maybe another block or a brick or a bolster underneath the extended leg. So I have my left leg out in front and my right leg bent back. And that might be enough. And then we'll take a lean back. Okay. If you don't need to sit on a block, don't sit on a block. And we're just going to lean back into this position. The areas where you may feel the sensations are down the front of your thigh and into your knee. Again, you can prop the knee up. And if this whole pose is not for you, you can always turn, lie on your side and come into a quad stretch, just holding the leg behind you. But ideally into saddle, try sitting on the block first. And just be aware of any sensations in the front of your thigh. We're now internally rotating the hip. There is quite a lot of pressure on the thigh joint, the thigh muscle. Again, the quads we don't stretch out very much. Be aware of the sensations. Try not to hold tension in your leg. Another 2 minutes here. Again, if you're not feeling anything too much, you can come down onto your elbows or have a bolster behind you. Just lie back onto the bolster. Eventually the aim is to lie flat on the floor. My legs aren't going to go that far today, but if you can lie flat, simply go for it. We're only doing half saddle, so one leg at a time. And breathe. Observe where the sensations are. Stay within your orange zone. Remember, you have the control of lifting yourself back up. Coming to a point where you're at your edge. If I want to go any further, but you're fully aware of the sensations. So another 30 seconds on this side. Try and stay in your own space. Imagine, if you will, a cat now sitting on your thigh. A bit of extra weight added, increasing my own stretch. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, very carefully come out of the pose on this side. The other side may feel very different. So bring your right leg, straighten it out. And then bend your left leg round. Notice where you need props. Notice whether you still want to stay on your brick. If you have a bolster behind you. The left sole of your foot points up towards the ceiling as much as it can. Remember, we've got this internal rotation of your left hip. So the knee is slightly internally rotated as well, pointing inwards. And again, just lean back into this. Keep breathing. It's quite an intense pose. Most people get very strong sensations in the front of the leg. And as a result, try and tighten up through the hips to protect the sensation. So my advice is to start off with a lesser sensation. Let the whole leg relax. And then slowly walk your hands backwards. There's no rush. If you go too quickly, your body will tighten up completely and you'll lose the benefit of the yin practice. We're here for around about another 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes. Keep breathing. Use each breath to bring focus and awareness to the sensations in your left front of leg, hip. Maybe also aware of your wrists behind you, if you're up on your arms, or maybe your shoulders if you're down. Holding here for another minute. Last 30 seconds. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, push yourself back upright and very carefully take your left leg out in front of you. Just wiggle the knees up and down and then sit in stillness, just observing the sensations in your hips. And here we're going to take it into swan or pigeon. So again, hip opening. So from here, just coming round into 4-point kneeling. Bring your right knee forward and then see what angle you can get. It will depend on your flexibility in your hips. Traditionally, your right shin is parallel to the end of your mat. Mine goes to about 45 degrees, and that's it. Also, reaching round for a block. If you are very flexible and can sink down, brilliant. Otherwise, just place the block underneath your right buttock.
Hands are in front of you and your left leg is out behind you. So your arms are in front, your hands are in front. We'll stay upright for the moment into swan. We're stretching the front of the hip flexor on the left leg. We're back into externally rotating your right hip. If it's uncomfortable on your right knee or your left knee, then simply place some more padding around the joints. So it's uncomfortable on your left knee behind you. Just use a block, padding underneath the shin. If you feel comfortable here, by all means, increase the stretch into the right glute and hip by coming down onto your elbows. If your knee will tolerate it. If it doesn't, stay more upright. You can place a block underneath your head or stack your fists. And once the tension goes out of the upper half of your body, the lower half of your body will also relax. Another minute and a half here. Very much an inward looking pose once you lower your head down, otherwise it's forward facing. Just allows your body to rest. Keep your mind on sensations in your body. Try not to allow your mind to wander. Be fully focused on you and your body. And 30 seconds. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, if you're lying down on your mat, carefully push yourself back up. Push back onto your left knee and release your right leg. Again, just holding 4-point kneeling and letting your hips sway from side to side. And we're going to come straight down onto the other side. So this time, just bring your left knee forwards. Again, don't worry too much about the angle of your shin. I've certainly started using the block underneath the buttock, so underneath my left buttock, so I can perch on something. Just helps with a tight hip. Right leg out behind. So we're aiming to get the stretch through the front of the right hip flexor and also into the left glute. So just start off with your arms straight. Make any adjustments. If it's more comfortable to keep the left foot flexed, then do so, or just gently relaxed. And the upper body, if you're up on your arms, will hold quite a bit of tension. Just be aware of the sensations now. Maybe through the front of your right hip, if you're sitting very balanced. Otherwise, you may feel the stretch of your glutes in the left side and also your left hip. But your sensations are unique and personal to you. If it feels comfortable or appropriate, coming down onto your forearms. And again, you can stack your fists or have a block underneath. And you can place your bolster underneath your chest and lie over your bolster. You'll find, hopefully, a position where you can just simply relax down into swan. And we're going to be here for another 2 minutes.
Again, keep your awareness on your breath. Stay within your zone, just moving towards your edge, but no further. If something becomes painful or really a lot of discomfort, come out. And allow your awareness to appreciate the parts of your body where there are sensations, and see if you can relax into those areas a little bit further. If you suddenly notice there's tension in your neck or your shoulders, take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, relax that area as well, and see if that has a knock-on effect to the hips, into your glutes. Just have another, just under a minute left on this side. Big breath in. As you breathe out, come up, push back up onto your right knee, release your left leg, remove the props from around you, and again, just let your hips sway from side to side. We've done a really deep hip opening there. Our next pose, once we've just recovered from this one, is going to be shoelace. So we're going to close the hips back down again. So come into a seated position, ready for shoelace. We can do various different versions of it. You can have your right leg out in front and then just pull your left leg in towards you and cross your left foot over the right thigh. You can hold and support the leg here and just slowly pull it round a little bit more, aiming to get the knees lined up. So we're internally rotating the left hip. And you can pull the knee in towards you until you feel the sensation. So this is into a tied half shoelace. I like the phrases for this one. If you want to take it deeper and you feel that you're able to, just rock onto your right buttock and then bend your right leg round as well. So the right knee is bent, right foot is by your left buttock, left leg is on top, knee bent, left foot is by your right buttock. And again, you can prop between the knees if it feels appropriate. And if you have taken the full shoelace, place your hands onto the soles of your feet with gentle pressure. Be aware of the sensations. These may be again very strong. It may be too much to come straight into it. Just giving you the options. And half tied shoelace to full shoelace. See if you can relax into your hips. And again, just another option if you want to, is to start to lean forward. Even dropping your chin or your forehead down to your knees, just depends on your flexibility. It depends on how your hips are behaving today. I actually like sitting tall in this one. I'm really allowing my sensations in my hips to fill my awareness. Keep breathing.
Just another 30 seconds to go. Notice how the sensations are now and compared to when you first came into shoelace. They're more intense, maybe you're holding tension somewhere else in your body. They're about the same, or they've started to soften. You've allowed some of the connective tissue in your body just to stretch. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out very carefully, I've got to move a cat as well at the same time. Seems to be fascinated by this today. Take your left leg out. If your right leg was bent as well, take your right leg out and just give them a little bounce up and down. And we're going to take it to the other side. So this time the right leg's going to be on top. So if you're coming into half-tied shoelace, bring the right leg over in front of you, just holding around the knee, pulling that in. And then see if you can take it a little bit further. If you want to take it into the full half shoelace. So at the top of the knee, the right knee is over the left knee. Right sole of the foot, sort of just pointing up towards the ceiling. See how that feels. If you want to try the other side as well, rock over onto the left buttock and pull the left leg round to the right. There will be a difference in both sides, I'm sure. And again, sensations may be fairly intense. Just take this first 20 or 30 seconds just to allow your body to settle. Your choice where you have your hands, you may want to support the knee, or ideally, eventually, having the palms of your hands on the soles of your feet. If you're holding tension, then use blocks and props just to help take the tension away. You can use them for a short period of time and then move them away. Breathing in here. And again, the long, slow exhalation. Maybe your exhalations at this point in your practice have become slower and longer. Or maybe at the start of each pose, it's sort of like just a little bit more tentative. And see if you can allow your body to relax. We've got just under another 2 minutes in shoelace on this side. Okay, if you want to take the forward lean, do so. Coming into your last 30 seconds. And again, observing the difference now as to where you were nearly 3 minutes ago.
Take a breath in. As you breathe out, again, very carefully, sit back, untangle your legs. And just allow your legs to come out in front and a little bounce up and down. And then just sit upright in stillness. Then we're going to take supported fish pose. So lengthways on your mat, ideally a block or a brick or your bolster between your shoulder blades. Now, it's not the most comfortable when we first come into it. We're coming out long. You can place a bolster or a rolled up blanket underneath the back of your thighs. That gives a nice support for your lower back. So it's almost another word for another description for this pose is babbling brook, if you use the blanket underneath your thighs. And then lie yourself down. Again, your head should drop back. Brick between your shoulder blades, arms wide, legs are relaxed. The crown of your head is on the mat. If that is uncomfortable, then please place another block or a pillow underneath your head. And I do want your rib cage lifted and arms wide. Trying to relax down into this position, taking time to adjust the props if you need them. And we're going to be here now for the next 3 minutes. So feel the opening down the front of your body. Your chest is open, your stomach is open. Your arms are heavy. Try not to hold any tension in your shoulders. Just allow gravity to pull them down towards the mat. Allow the whole weight of your body to sink down. So opening through the front of your chest. And maybe tension in your shoulders. If you have generally a rounded shoulder position, posture. And really bring your awareness to your breath. You should be conscious of your back ribs because they're supported by the block. And as you push into that, there's not much give. So then your whole of your chest at the front rises. I'm just here for another 30 seconds. Take a deep breath in And as you breathe out, bring your hands behind your head, lift your head up, so to support your neck, and then very carefully pull yourself all the way back up to seated. Now, our final pose today is going to be a restorative shavasana. So I'm hoping you've got props or a blanket around. I'll move the cats for this one because they've taken it over rather. So we're going to come into Supta Baddha Konasana. What I'd like you to do is, if you've got a bolster or a rolled up towel, you're going to place one block and then place the bolster along the block with another couple underneath. So we're just, sorry, to get my legs that way. So we're trying to form this little triangle of support and the bolster over the top. Then that's not going to go anywhere when you lie on it. If you have a rolled up towel or cushions, just see if you can wedge something up into this triangular shape. From here, once you've got that done, again, you can have more padding underneath the back of your legs. Certainly cover yourself with a blanket. That's really nice. Bring the soles of your feet together with another option and let your knees drop wide. So this will finally open into your hips. Bring your bottom close towards the back of the bolster and simply lie back. So Supta Baddha Konasana simply means reclined, butterfly pose. Your choice, as I say, with the legs are out straight. If you want to finally open the hips, bring the soles of the feet together, and you can always place another block or a book underneath both thighs, so they're fully supported, and you can relax into this position. Then your arms come down by your side, the back of your forearms on the mat. Chin is towards your chest. Very few sensations in this position, although you may find sensations on your inner thighs and your groin. Or in my case, my chest. Again, so it's a nice position to end in. So we're opening through the shoulders. You're fully supported. You don't like the knees wide, you simply take them out in front of you and put cushions behind your thighs, closing your eyes. And while you're here, just scan through your body. Noticing areas of tightness. And then allow stillness of body, stillness of mind. The final 3 minutes in your Shavasana. Become aware of your breath. Become aware of your body as a whole. If your knees are wide, then very carefully lift them back up to center and stretch them away from you. And then in your own time, come up to seated. Still with your eyes closed. Bring your hands, the gesture of Anjali Mudra, palms facing at your heart center. Acknowledging respect for yourself, for taking time today for your own self-care and choosing yin yoga. Close practice with Om Shanti. Take a breath in and breathing out. If you're joining in, take a breath in for Om. Om Shanti. 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 Namaste. Thank you very much for joining. I hope these two monsters weren't too much of a distraction. They had to break a cat fight up halfway through that. So have a lovely day. Hope you're all feeling good, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much. Okay, have a good day. Thanks, Patricia.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Thanks, Debbie. See you soon.
Yeah, bye, love.
Bye.